in my hand is a dictionary, and this is why you need to read more. Now I want you to think back in history to the lowest class of the individuals, the working class. Do you think that those working class were really skilled? Do you believe that those working class were seriously taught words, learned, given Charles Dickens to read, given manuscripts to read, given philosophical works? No. They were kept locked in. They were kept locked in a cage, not because of their financial status or because of their status in society, but because of the words that they knew and because of the ideas that they could grasp because of the words that they knew. So today I'm going to be teaching you 10 new words. And I'm going to be giving you an example as to how you can use those words to speak more eloquently, increase your status, and learn about new concepts. And let us go. This is a learning activity for both you and me. And let's look at how many pages, how many words are on this very page. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to go for 10 words on this page. And I want to pick nice, interesting words. So the first one is a miscreant. Now, a miscreant would be a word that Shakespeare would use. Beware, foul miscreant. I shall cast spells upon you and your family. Your deeds shall become unknown. Something like that. The word miscreant means a person, and I'm going to read the description here. A miscreant is a person who has done something wrong or illegal. So a person who has done something wrong or illegal, meaning a person who's perhaps robbed a bank, a person who's tried to rob a gas station, a person who's done something heinous, a heinous sexual act, for example, that would be someone who's called a miscreant, as if they are miscreated, someone who that God does not approve of. So that's our very first one. I'm going to keep a line to write down and keep track of everything. So the second one is called nom de plume. So it's a French word and it's used by a writer instead of their real name. So, for example, we look at J.K. Rowling. That isn't her real name. She has a different name. I'm not sure what it is. But there's something called a nom de plume. So, for example, let's say we are going to talk about, I want to think of a good person. Me. I will use a nom de plume, which is Mike Tiger, when my real name is something completely different and something completely obscure. There have been many people who've changed their surnames. They call it a pen name, a nom de plume. So, for example, let's say your name is Khachibaro, and you want to write a scientific work. But Khachibaro doesn't really hold much vigor. So you want to change your name to William Canterbury. So you'll write, this is a scientific work by William Canterbury, and in brackets, Khachibaro. So that's called a nom de plume. That is our second word of the day. Nom de plume. Now I want to find another word for you. Notarize. This is a legal word. If a document is notarized, it means that it has been given legal status by a notary or by a lawyer. So let's take a look at a contract. Notarize. Let's say you and I are going into business and we agree that you're going to get 50% equity, I'm going to get 50% equity, and you're going to get paid $10,000 a month and so will I. Well, verbal contracts don't really stand until they've been notarized, until they've been given a legal standing, and from there you are able to then say, this document stands in law, here's a date, these are the people, we have signed it, and that's how you know that a document stands in law. Notarized, third one. And I just want to quickly keep track of how many words you've got. So we are on the very third word. I'm going to tell you the fourth one now. So now for the very fourth word, this is the most beautiful thing. And I'm going through the dictionary through different letters. This is a great one. Palpitations. I used to have teachers in school who would say, you're distracting me, man. What's wrong with you? You're going to give me heart palpitations. Not distracting me, but they would say, why aren't you studying for your test? You're giving me heart palpitations. Now, what it means is some sort of, almost like a brain aneurysm, it's a heart condition. Heart palpitations is a physical condition in which your heart beats very quickly, which shows their own anxiety, and in an irregular way. Just the thought of flying gives me palpitations, makes me very nervous. So saying, this gives me palpitations, heart palpitations, means that it makes me very nervous, very anxious, very uneasy. And so, the definition, as I just read now, palpitations, is a very quick, rapid beating. So that would be an interesting word that you can use. You could say, someone's going to say, would you like to go skydiving? You say, just the mere thought of going to skydiving, putting my life on the line, gives me palpitations. Just the mere fact that you have not watched this video and you aren't learning about 10 words that is going to be that you can use to change your life and speak more eloquently, that is giving me palpitations. That's the fourth word. Let's get on to the fifth word. I love this. I have a passion for all these words. I want to find a nice one for you. Placate. So to placate, it's a verb. It means to make something feel less angry, to pacify. A placating smile. The concessions did little to placate the students. So let's say the teacher says, kids, you are now going to be writing a 3-hour pop quiz on World War II figures. In order for the teacher to placate the students, to make, what does it say? To make less angry, make them feel less angry about that. The teacher placated the students by giving them gifts of grace, such as chocolates, sweets, and candy bags with floss, candy floss. So that's our fifth word, to placate. What a beautiful word. I want to continue going. I told you 10 words that you can use. And there's so many beautiful words here. Here's a good one, a rabid. Rabid means, in my opinion, something that is wild, like a rabid animal. A rabid horse means that it's wild, it has froth in its mouth, and it would actually infect you. It says here, of a type of person having very strong feelings about something and acting in an unacceptable way, in an irrational way. Rabid right-wing fanatics, the rabid tabloid press, violent or extreme, suffering from rabies. That's why I said a rabid dog or a rabid horse. It doesn't necessarily mean it's wild. It means that it behaves in an uncontrolled way and could also refer to rabies, frothing from the mouth, that it would infect you. But here, rabid means a person who has very strong feelings and they act in an unacceptable way. So for example, let's go back to sexual urges. There might be rabid humans who have incredibly strong urges and they act in a socially unacceptable way. So for example, with me, let's say I really wanted to film and my phone broke. Well, I have very strong feelings about wanting to film. I want to film. I need a camera. But to behave in a socially unacceptable way would mean that I go and steal a cell phone or swipe some money or something like that. That would be me acting in a rabid fashion. That is number 6, rabid. Here's a great one, a red herring. So let's say I'll give you a riddle, right? And I'm going to tell you, there are 3 birds sitting on a fence and 2 birds fly away. 3 birds sitting on a fence, 2 birds fly away. How many remain? Okay, you give me your answer, let me know in the comments. The correct answer is 3. Because telling you that 2 birds flew away is like saying, here are 3 birds, here are 2 birds, 2 flew away, 3 still remain. It's a red herring, which means it's an inconsequential piece of advice. The definition over here is going to tell us that it is an unimportant fact, an idea, or an event. And it takes people's attention away from the important ones, from the custom of using the smell of a smoked, dried herring, which was red, to train dogs to hunt. It's a red herring. It's unimportant. It's a useless piece of information, but it's used to distract. So, as I said, the history behind it is that they would have these hunting dogs, and in order to train them, they would give them these red dried herrings, or dried herrings that were in the color of red, and they'd give them to these dogs and train them how to hunt. But really, they were just lining them up to hunt, not to eat the herring. So, red herring. We are at 7. We only have 3 more words, and maybe you can take some notes here so that you would be able to learn some words and then incorporate them into your fantastic lingo. A rumor monger. Right, a fear monger is someone who spreads fear. So a rumor monger is a person who spreads rumors. It says a person who spreads rumors. That's the definition. So let's say I'll tell you, Donald Trump created the crypto coin because he's part of the Illuminati so that they can raise money to facilitate arms deals to the middle of the Antarctic. That would be a rumor mongering. I would be a rumor mongerer because I'm sharing something that's completely against logic and against fact. Where does the Illuminati, what does the Illuminati have to do with Antarctica? So that's number 8, a rumor mongerer. 2 more. You're going to like this one. I need to find a nice one. This is a great one. Okay, to sext. Now this is one of the new age ones, and I'm sure that if anyone who's Gen Z or younger than, let's say, 2025, you will know what sext means. But it's the confluence, which means the bringing together of sex, sexual intercourse, or at least, foreplay and all these sorts of attractive things, and also messaging, to text. So sext, it says, sexual messages or photos showing naked people and sexual acts on a mobile or cell phone. Now if you sext, They're trying to tell us in school that if you sext, that it could ruin your life. And I actually agree. Sometimes if you sext, your photos can get leaked if you break up with the person or they have resentment. So, number 9, never sext. Never ever send messages naked bodies. I want to find a complicated word for you. And this is a good one. Okay, last one. Number 10. Tellurium. Now, if you are a scientific nerd, in the past I loved science, you're going to love this one. Tellurium is a chemical element. It is a shiny silver white substance that breaks easily, and it's found in sulfidiors. Please correct me if I'm not pronouncing a word correctly. I'm learning the new word. Tellurium. An element, it's a shiny silver substance that breaks easily. So if you're a real nerd about it, you might be able to tell a person that I'm selling you tellurium. What they're selling you, the silver chain is tellurium, because it would resemble that of a shiny substance. Something shiny, it has beauty, it looks like a beautiful, expensive piece of jewelry, but it's tellurium because it will break, and it doesn't have any structural integrity. That is 10 words that you can use right now to improve the way that you speak from dictionary. Thank you, and I'll catch you in the next one. But I want to know which words you used: placate, out of placate, red herring, sext, and our final word, which we talked about, tellurium. Thank you so much, and enjoy words, because English is how you can improve your status and coherently convey your own words.